one of the things that the Constitution seems to imply, although it's not completely clear, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, is that the vice president would become the president if the president should die or be convicted of impeachment or become seriously ill, or in some way, shape, or form that the president would be unable to perform his or her duties. 8 different times there has been a president, thus a former vice president, that a vice president has taken over for a president, but then there has been no vice president because it's an unclear provision for how someone becomes vice president. So think about president dies, vice president takes over. Who takes the vice president's office? The Succession Act of 1886, which was amended in 1947, said at first that the Secretary of State was the first in line, followed by the cabinet in the order of seniority, that the president would essentially pick their successor by picking the Secretary of State. The amendment was made that the Speaker and President pro tempore became next in line, but that isn't good because oftentimes that's based on seniority and not particularly executive skill sets. Think back to the legislative review. We had a picture of the super cute Robert Byrd, that you'll recall that there's a picture of Robert Byrd in a wheelchair looking really rather frail. That was picked by and large on the basis of seniority. So that is not a very good plan for presidential succession. Thus, we have the 25th Amendment, which allows the allows the vice president to serve as the acting president when the president declares that they're unable to carry out their duties, or the cabinet and vice president say that the president has become incapacitated. According to the 25th Amendment, when the vice presidency is vacated, the president is able to nominate a new VP to be confirmed by a majority vote in both houses of Congress. Think about Nixon. Nixon's vice president, Spiro Agnew, resigned. Thus, Nixon then appointed Ford. When Nixon resigned, Ford became the president. He's the only president not to have been elected to office. He was simply nominated. And you see this very famous picture of LBJ being sworn in aboard Air Force One with Jackie Kennedy next to him. She's got her coat on and you can't really see, but she still had the bloody dress on. She said that she wanted the people to see what they had done to him, meaning John Kennedy. In terms of presidential removal, as I think I have pounded into your heads time and time again, the House votes to indict the president, meaning that the House votes to bring charges. The Senate actually removes the president, and the Senate essentially acts as a court in this case. Both Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton were impeached, but neither was actually convicted. And it is fairly certain that Nixon would have been impeached had he not resigned first. And that brings us to the end of our presidency review. Very nice job, ladies and gentlemen.